How about you, John? What are some of the issues that have compelled you to fight for this spot in the council seat?
Well, some of the big issues get kind of all tied into some of the same things. I try to condense it with three things. I'm sorry, that's one extra. What I like to call for Rutherford TLC, and what I mean by TLC is taxes, leadership, and commitment. Taxes would be obviously the number one issue. It's always an issue in Rutherford. We only have a limited amount of space to get payables and to help the taxes go down. So, like Todd had mentioned, we need to make sure that our debt services are limited and we're not going out and bonding for things that we may not need because these are tough economic times. So we need to be sensible with that. We need to look into all different options of finding ways to create revenue. The recycling plan, of course, is a great idea. That's something that we have had in the past, and with some land that we have across the highway, that's always an option. There's also many different ways of trying to promote our businesses downtown with a strong downtown market. Also comes increased revenues, and also the property values go up. If the property values going up, we won't lose money in tax appeals. So our housing is also an issue there, because if we're losing too much money in tax appeals, then the borough loses money. So that's another way to try to make up some of that shortfall. The other thing is leadership. As an elected official, we're supposed to be the extension to the rest of the residents. And no matter who you vote for or where you come from, as an elected official, I'm ready to listen to anyone's inquiries or anyone's thoughts on how we can generate revenue and help our budget shortfall that we have this year. And also another important part is right now we do not have a borough administrator, so that's going to be a very critical part in helping Rutherford get back afloat. Having a highly qualified business administrator with a more nonpartisan approach to issues is essential. And if elected, I'm looking forward to being part of that process and making sure we get the right person in that role. And then also commitment. Rutherford is a very proud community, and people live here for a reason. They live here because they love what Rutherford brings. They love their downtown. They love their activities, and getting people involved in recreation department, getting people involved in committees in town. Those are all essential elements to having a thriving community. So I not only call upon myself. I mean, this is one avenue for me to help my community, but I also ask everyone else to get out and help their community as well. So those are the three things that I think everything kind of ties into and what motivates me to run for council.
Let's move on. I think one thing that a lot of people are concerned about, and you see this as people write in letters to the editor, is the finances of the borough. And there's a significant shortfall that's coming up in the budget. You both mentioned taxes. What would your plan be to actually bring those taxes more into a manageable position, or to handle the budget shortfall? How would you start? How about you, Todd?
Well, the first thing we have to do, we have to, me and John Parnofiello, we're not in there right now. I mean, we have an idea of looking at certain sheets, but we would have to go through every department, look at every budget, and we have to see where the problem is, where it started. We have to see where where we could first find a problem and then figure out how we could solve the problem. And what we did was it's like anything else. I mean, we're the debt, the $16.4 million in debt that we put on ourselves is too much. It's like taking a credit card and charging on your credit card. At the end of the month, you pay a little bit, and then after a year, you have a you have a big bill, and everybody realizes that. So we have to get away from bonding. We have to get away from wasted money. And we have to watch what we buy. So we have to go down to, also, we have to apply for all the grants that we can. We have to find out every grant that's out there, we have to apply for them. We have to go get state aid. We have to go down there and fight down in Trenton for our fair share of state aid.
Some people, in addition to those things, are kind of leaning towards the idea of having furloughs or layoffs in the borough. Is that an idea that you would support if you were on the council?
You know, that's a very tough, it's not a tough question to answer, but you know, when I look at furloughs and layoffs, I look at the individual, and you know, I know that if I got laid off, you know, with my job, or if John Parnofiello got laid off, and we had bills to pay, we all suffer. But we have to do something. So we have to be fair to the taxpayer. So what we would have to do is we would have to look at every avenue before we lay anybody off. And then, you know, we would have to make a decision on what's the best for Rutherford and everybody else. Because people out there are losing their homes. And people in Rutherford right now are struggling. And people, they're not paying their taxes.
Do you think for both of you that with the election on March 9th and the budget, I think has to be in Trenton before 1st of April, will you be ready to step in and to make some of these decisions? Do you feel like you're going to be able to jump in and vote on the budget within the couple of weeks that you have?
Well, I mean, I think that, yes, I mean, I think that whoever's elected, me or John, I think that we have to. I don't think that we have time to waste. I mean, it's something that has to be done.
John, as you think about it, are layoffs or furloughs something that you would lean towards?
It's definitely not something that I would lean towards. I look at furloughs and layoffs as the last resort. And, you know, I don't want to necessarily say that I'm ready to go to the last resort just yet. I know we only have a finite amount of time, like you said, but, you know, there's got to be other ways, you know, to other avenues to look, and that's by, you know, meeting with the different departments and seeing if there's ways to, you know, to make things more efficient, you know, have some strategic planning and say, you know, hey, you know, I think things can be done a different way, or trust our professionals. I think our professionals give us a lot of insight, and as elected officials, we have to rely on our professionals to give us that information. So, you know, whether that maybe be, you know, sensible alternatives of shared services, things of that nature. These are all avenues that we have to look at. And even, you know, going back to the downtown a little bit, you know, maybe we brought in that downtown partnership a little bit and got other businesses involved. You know, that could be another way to get some revenue as well. So, you know, there's a lot of different avenues that we can cross, and I think there's a lot of things that we have to look into before we can say, okay, now it's time for a furlough, okay, now it's time